l'idée est super bonne. Très enrichissante.
C'est ce que j'aime aussi avec
le c'est stratégique. Tu nous pousses.
Beaucoup de planification.
Ça peut être
juste que tu as planifié, ça amène des résultats.
C'est grâce à lui que je suis allé chercher une plus grande visibilité.
J'adore.
De pouvoir apprendre.
Et je te remercie vraiment.
Merci beaucoup, Yann.
Merci beaucoup, Yann. Merci beaucoup.
Bonjour à tous! Aujourd'hui, le mot du coach. Vous partagez des entrepreneurs à succès. Aujourd'hui, guys, envoyez-moi des cœurs parce que je veux prendre les cœurs. J'envoie une femme de cœur qui va être avec nous aujourd'hui. Le mot du coach, mais c'est justement vous partager des trucs, des stratégies. Aujourd'hui, on va le faire en version franglais. It's gonna be bilingual, guys. On va le faire français-anglais. Si vous avez des commentaires en français en anglais, Davina va les comprendre également. Sans plus tarder, merci, thank you to be here. My superstar behind the star. Je veux que tu nous parles de toi. Alors, bienvenue sur le mot du coach, Devina.
Merci beaucoup, Ian. C'est quel pleasure to be here. Mais excuse-moi, mon français, j'ai pas beaucoup de pratique aujourd'hui, OK? Merci beaucoup. C'est vraiment un plaisir de venir ici.
C'est moi le plaisir. Je veux vous présenter des entrepreneurs, des gens de cœur et j'invite souvent les gens à aller simplement rajouter, ouvrir des discussions. Et des fois, l'entrepreneur, l'humain, on est de plus en plus connecté en étant déconnecté et c'est ce que je veux vous rencontrer aujourd'hui. On va transiger vers l'anglais. So, Devina, I want to talk a bit about you, about what is sexy et brillant. I love the brand and your book. So, first of all, talk a bit about you.
Well, thank you so much, Ian. Mais je vais parler en anglais parce que il y a beaucoup de personnes qui parlent seulement anglais. So that's why I'm going to speak in English today, but I do speak French. So sexy, brilliant. C'est quelque chose qui. One day I used to be a full-time dog walker, and one day I was walking a client's dog, and the client happened to be a coach. So. And some of you may know him. His name is Marc Dumaine, qui habite à Montréal aussi. So Mark said, you know what, you should come into my office. And I was like, okay. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a coach. I'm like, what is a coach? C'est ça qui passe avec moi. That's exactly what happened. I was like, what is a coach? So I went to his office and then, we continued working together. Premier mois, deuxième mois, troisième mois. Third month when I'm in his office, he's like, how are you? I'm like, always sexy, always brilliant. C'est ça que je dis. I said, always sexy, always brilliant. And it didn't matter that I had like $5 in my bank account, that I was fat and I've struggled with depression too. It didn't matter. But I would just stand in front of the mirror and I would say, I am sexy, I am brilliant. Sexy, brilliant. So it became like my mantra. So Mark, my coach, he said, you know what, you should get that domain name, Sexy Brilliant. I was like, okay. So I came back home and I was like, I looked and I registered the domain name. I had no idea what I was doing. Like registering a domain name is, it was not something that I did as a dog walker. But I registered the domain name and I sat with that. J'ai fait rien avec ça. I did nothing with the domain name. And then fast forward a year later, I went back to university, and then I started working in Los Angeles a little bit. I was part of a reality TV show. And then I got the opportunity to move to Los Angeles. And I was like, I'm here so well settled in Montreal, in Canada. C'est vraiment belle ici. J'aime habiter à Montréal. Why do I move to Los Angeles? So there was this conflict and this choice that was going on. And I said, you know that I have this domain name called sexybrilliant.com. Let's go check it out. So that's exactly where it started. And I had no idea what I was doing. Really, like anybody who starts a business, by the way, or we are a nonprofit foundation, no clue what I'm doing, but with the idea that I want to do something. So that's where Sexy Brilliant started. Ian.
I love it. I love it because every people I talk, and it's funny because just before we start the show, I said you're a superstar, and everybody for me is a superstar. And Sexy Brilliant, the same thing. All entrepreneurs, yes, we have our up and down. Yes, with everything happening right now, it's not the rainbow is more the rainy part than the sunny part, but we need the rain to add it with the sun to get this wonderful rainbow.
Oui, c'est ça. And you know what? Like how we look at it is the rain is also part of the cycle. A farmer says thank you for the rain. Somebody who, the rain, somebody who's a skier is up in the mountains. That rain is also snow. So it's how you look at things, right? So and go ahead, Ian.
Man, I love your branding. I follow you. It's been like a year or so. I'm following you, and I love what you do. You're bold. You're authentic. You say what you need to say, and I love it. Too loud, too ambition. I love it. I want to talk about you wrote a book, and it's fantastic. I know you have it. Show me your book.
Yeah. So I'm the author of a book called Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. It's a spiritual self-help workbook. And, and I want to say something. I am not a gifted writer. I am ADD, dyslexia. My focus is different. I'm an artist. So the idea was that I knew that I have a message to share. So I started, instead of going to Los Angeles and Hollywood, I started writing. And I did everything backwards. Like, I wrote one word and then I would write the same thing again and again. And then I was like, how do I write a book? No clue, no research, but I started writing. And then what happened is I met people who came to help me finish the book. People, like day one, I started like looking for an editor, and I was like, I can't do this on my own. I don't have the brilliance to write a book. I mean, I'm the person with the ideas, right? Like the name is my idea. The sexy brilliant is my idea, but I don't have the skills of English is not my first language. Mais français aussi, c'est pas ma langue maternelle, mais je parle. So, it's like none of us know what we're doing, but it all comes back to how well do we know ourselves? And that's what it's all about. Self-knowledge, know thyself. Ian, if I can speak a little bit about spirituality, we just entered the age of Aquarius, and now the theme is all about know thyself, and knowing not only your good side, but also knowing your bad side, right? Or bad side, not so good side. That's what's important.
And I love it. You talk about spirituality, and more I love myself, more I can love somebody. So sometimes, guys, for us to help others, when you're in the plane, they said put your mask first, then put the mask to the kid and stuff.
Exactly. And you know what? I mean, nobody teaches us how to love ourselves. We don't have a book about this at school, right? But self-love is about knowing who you are, and that, by the way, is the trademark behind my name. It's K.A.U.R, and I want to share, if I can share that, Ian. Yeah. So K stands for knowledge, and my book is based on that as well, like knowing yourself. There are tips on how to know yourself, and knowing yourself is also about practicing radical self-acceptance, and that's what the A stands for. And acceptance is not just about, I have beautiful hair, or I like to wear a hair flower, or I like to be on camera. It's also about, what are the things that I want to become better at? It's about accepting those things as well. So accepting, en français on dit le défaut, right? That's what we say, Ian? So accepting all parts of yourself, and that's the way to more self-love.
What is the U and the R?
The U stands for unlearning. So unlearning, good catch, by the way, Ian. I like your, so say, this is my ADD, okay? So the U is for unlearning. I'm going to move a little bit. Unlearning all the programming, and as a coach, you can talk a little bit more about this, is unlearning the negative messages, unlearning, the programming that we have consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, and also forgiving our parents for anybody who's hurt us, unlearning all those messages as well. Because the world, we're never enough for the world. We can, the world is always judging us for who we are. But when we accept ourselves, when we know who we are very powerful. And then we have to unlearn all those messages of not being good enough.
And what's the R stand for?
The R stands for release. So releasing the, the brilliance, the sexiness, the abundance, the superstar. Sharing your message with the world in the way you can, because we're not leaving anybody behind. We're all going in the same fifth density, and we're all taking everybody, whoever we can with us. But first we start with ourselves, and then lâche pas, as we say.
I love your energy. I love your vibe. And I saw you through to social media, but now I have it like right in the screen with us today. And I would love to send you arts. And guys, if you like what you hear, please, you can share. Send some love to Devina. I take the hearts and I send it to her.
I'm receiving it. I see it. I love it. Merci. And I send you back love. Thank you so much, guys. What a pleasure. What an honor, Ian. Thank you.
I want you to talk about, you got this little nice car that you have on your desk, right in front.
Oh, yes. I forgot about this too. So, good memory, Ian. So these are the Sexy Brilliant Empowerment cards. And like I said, I'm an artist. This is a non-registered foundation to remove toxic shame and raise human consciousness. And one thing I want to mention is that Sexy Brilliant actually started with me overcoming an addiction. And when my arranged marriage ended, I fell into a love/dating addiction. And I speak about this a lot, but overcoming an addiction, I know how hard it is. And again, it's about knowing who you are, whether you have an addiction, whether you have a temper. I have that also, by the way. It's about, accepting yourself for who we are and then getting professional help. I mean, I work with coaches all the time. I work with a therapist all the time. I have, a lot of good people surrounding me to be here where I am.
Sure.
So that's number, that's a tip that I really want to share with everybody, is to have people supporting you through your journey, whether it's mental health, whether it's starting a business, whether it's trademarking your last name or your, whatever it is, and whether it is being an artist. So these are the Sexy Brilliant Empowerment cards. So Ian, choose a card number. We have 52 cards, 53 cards, or 52 cards. Woo! See, they all want to come out.
Number 3.
Number 3, that is, if I can share another spiritual thing, is number 1 is related to the masculine, the father. The number 2 is related to the mother, the feminine energy. And then number 3 is the child.
Okay, perfect.
So we're like, okay, well, Ian, you're on it. So 1, these are what the cards look like.
Nice, I love it.
2, and number 3, yay. Beautiful. Can you see it on screen?
So 6. No, I don't see it. What did it say? Read
it says Sexy Brilliant Partnership.
Nice. Wow, perfect.
And
I guess brilliant. So we're gonna do a partnership.
It says join hands with your friends, your neighbors, your community, and come together in togetherness, spiritual connection, and healing together. Enjoy the intimacy this brings to your relationships. Feel stronger together through this brilliant closeness.
I love it. I love it. And it's so funny because this is what I do right now. We doing a lot of partnership right now with other trainer, other businesses that we're doing right now. I love this spiritual thing. Is so accurate so many times. I love it.
And you know what? It's all about working together. We, as we evolve in our journey, in our spiritual journey, our business journey, and I say that the business and personal is always related, right? So as we evolve in our personal development, we also take everybody around us. So that's what it's all about, like coming together as a community. And now more than ever, we need our community. We need our people around us to help us as much as we can.
I love what you said. And can you give us like an advice or a tip? How can we implement this strategy? How can we make sure we can all work together and put our mouth into action. Our mouth or words or about words into action.
So I can give you a personal example is, right now in Canada and in Quebec, Montreal especially, so we have a curfew going at night. We can't leave at, after 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So what I have is the place I live in, there's a lot of old people here. So what me and the young people started doing is we are helping our neighbors. Some of our neighbors are old, but they're very stubborn. They don't want help, right? They're all independent. They're in their 70s, so not old enough to be at retirement homes, but still, a little bit like 65, 70, 75. So what we do is we walk their dogs. We insist on taking them grocery shopping. So I had a neighbor over Christmas. She's like, I went to knock on her door. I want to check on her. Me and another neighbor, we went together to knock on an older neighbor's door. And she's like, oh, I have not eaten anything in 2 days. So we were like, what? So we took food over for her, whether it was a simple sandwich of meat and, sauce and everything. But she was so happy and she was so grateful. So just this idea of helping others, whether it is your neighbors, and right now we only have access to our neighbors. Yeah. Help as many people as you can, because the law of the universe, the law of laws is that when we help others, it comes back to us in multiple ways. So, so since then this neighbor who doesn't eat much, so I've been going to check on her. And she has a dog, so I go walk her dog, and she's so grateful. She's like, one day she decided to give me $20, and I was like, yes, I made it. But this is what it's all about. It's about helping each other, but also she's so fun to hang out with, and every time I go, she teaches me something new. On parle en français en plus, so it's super fun. So this is what it's all about. We don't have to go on stage and have millions and millions of people looking at us. It's about the individual connection, the connection here virtually, but also people around you. That's where it starts.
And for everybody's listening right now in live or replay, if you need something, sometimes we are too shy to ask, but go in private. If you have any question, go follow, add, go open a discussion with Devina. She's sexy, she's brilliant, she's generous, she's ambitious. She's too loud, but we love her like that.
Ian, thank you so much. Yeah, that's why I wrote a book called Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. That's what he means by ambitious, okay? Loudness is about knowing who you are. Like, I wear hair flowers, right? It's crazy, but I mean, this is a kind of a corporate show, but I'm like, I'm coming as who I am.
Yeah, you're in color and stuff. You put the superstar of you here, and I'm really happy to have you today.
Yeah, and everybody is a superstar, everybody we all have that light and the brilliance within us. Yeah. And when we start living authentically, we grow and glow more.
Devina, stay with me. For everybody, I was there. Merci beaucoup. C'était notre franglais aujourd'hui, le mot du coach. On est partout à travers le monde. Alors, oui, nous sommes français et anglais.
Oui.
Je veux te dire un gros merci. Merci à tous les gens qui sont là. Tous les midis, autour de midi 15, midi 30, on est en direct. Vous partagez des entrepreneurs qui ont du cœur. Si vous avez aimé, envoyez des cœurs à Devina, je les prends et je lui donne des cœurs. Vous avez le droit de partager. Posez vos questions. Même si vous écoutez en replay, vous pouvez quand même poser vos questions. Thank for all of you. Le livre Les 100 mots du coach et du superstar est en pré-vente sur le site de la Fondation Lajoie. Tu vas faire partie de la saison 2. On va avoir un deuxième livre qui va sortir. Idéalement, on va le sortir en version présentielle. Là, on va faire un méga lancement avec tous les gens. Checkez-moi bien le party qu'on va faire. On va faire un méga party, mais que légalement, on a le droit de faire ça. Et je veux t'envoyer une abondance de joie, plein de succès, plus de plaisir, puis continue à être too loud, too ambitious, and too sexy and brilliant as well.
Thank you, Ian. Before you close, I want to tell everybody from my community, make sure that you are following Ian and that you are subscribing to his newsletter. He has a nonprofit foundation and he has a new book coming soon. So check that out. Ian Lajoie. Merci, Ian, and thank you so much, everybody, for being here.
Merci à tous. On se voit demain midi à 12h15. Je te garde avec moi, Devina. Bye bye, gang. J'avais un rêve et j'ai décidé de mettre ce rêve-là en action et d'en réaliser plus d'une centaine pour 2025. Fondation Lajoie veut contribuer à la hauteur de 1 million de dollars pour la Fondation Rêve d'enfants et réaliser 100 rêves pour aider les jeunes, aider les enfants des fois qui n'ont pas toute cette chance. Fondation Lajoie, ensemble, on peut tout faire. Ensemble, on peut réaliser des rêves. J'ai besoin de vous, j'ai besoin de toi pour m'aider à promouvoir la Fondation Lajoie. On a le livre Les 100 mots du coach et les superstars qui est déjà en pré-vente. On cherche également aussi des partenaires financiers, des partenaires visibilité. Alors, tu peux nous aider, tu peux faire ta part, tu peux contribuer à la réalisation des rêves d'ici 2025. Ensemble, nous sommes plus forts. Du fond du cœur, je te remercie de faire partie de la Fondation Lajoie.